and more passengers are flocking to airports and bus terminals as the Holy Week nears. Passenger volume at the PTEX, for one, has breached pre-pandemic levels. Experts continue to push for ramped-up booster vaccinations amid concerns of a possible surge in infections in 2 months. And in the weather, PAGASA expects a rainy weekend in the Visayas and some parts of Luzon due to a low-pressure area. The State Weather Bureau is also monitoring a tropical storm that is still outside the Philippine area of responsibility. Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's a roundup of stories we're watching now. I'm Sean Yao. The OCTA Research Group agrees that the public should get boosted as soon as possible. This is after the World Health Organization warned of another COVID surge in 2 months. OCTA fellow Guido David says there has been an uptick in cases in some regions in the country, although it is still manageable at the moment. David says a resurgence of cases could happen once vaccine immunity wanes. The World Health Organization has advised the Philippines to prepare for a possible surge in about 2 months or just after the elections.
Pag nag-wane yung immunity natin, decreasing immunity or decreasing antibody levels, pwedeng magkaroon ng resurgence in cases. So ito yung gusto nating iwasan. May nakita tayong uptick in some regions sa Pilipinas, especially siguro yung mga medyo mababa yung vaccine coverage. That's why important patuloy natin yung vaccine coverage, yung vaccinations.
On election news, Vice President Leni Robredo takes her campaign to vote-rich Pangasinan today. We have mobile journalist Jacob Lazaro joining us live from Dagupan City for the details. Hi, Jacob. VP Leni's camp talked of momentum after her jump in the latest Pulse Asia survey. Is this translating on the ground there in Pangasinan?
Hi, Sean. So far, Vice President Leni Robredo has been optimistic about her base of support here in Pangasinan. She said that the amount of volunteerism and hard work that she's seen among these people makes her hopeful that she will get better numbers here, for these elections. Because recall that back in 2016, Robredo actually lost miserably here to Marcos Jr. Although Robredo has been optimistic about her support, her supporters here in Pangasinan have been facing a bit of a challenge, as there have been reports circulating online where supporters claim that they are being harassed by land transportation officers, where they were being asked to step down or step out of their jeepneys and going to the rallies, and the buses that they actually privately booked suddenly canceled because these buses claimed that they were being threatened to have their LTO license revoked. But after this, Robredo said that this isn't really new for the supporters of Robredo, as in her past rallies they have experienced the same kind of harassment. But Robredo said that this only makes her supporters more resolute for the positive change that they are hoping for. And also after that, in one of her mini rallies here in Pangasinan province, there were a couple of BBM or Marcos supporters who came to her rallies and actually heckled supporters and Robredo, but they were eventually dispersed by the police. Now, so far, aside from these events, Robredo did get a shade of positive news as she got endorsed by the Bani municipality mayor.
All right. Now, Jacob, there was an Isambayan press conference a while ago. What happened over there? Can you tell us?
Yes, the Isambayan opposition coalition finally released their 11th senatorial, which is former Makati Congressman Monsur Del Rosario, and he said as a former Olympian, or as an Olympian, he would focus his platforms on giving assistance to healthcare workers, children born with disabilities, athletes, and agricultural workers. But aside from that, isang bayan convener Antonio Carpio Jr. Antonio Carpio actually brought up the 203 billion unpaid estate tax of the Marcoses, and he said before Bongbong Marcos should even dare to ask one Filipino vote, he should first pay his taxes.
All right, now another thing that surfaced recently, Jacob, is an audio clip allegedly of Congressman El Rey Villafuerte instructing someone to make fake posts about Leni Robredo. And this is now making its rounds online. Did the Robredo camp have any reaction to this?
Yes, actually, these kinds of things are not actually surprising to happen in elections, whether they're true or not. But Robredo said that she has seen the video, but she has not confirmed yet if this is true or not. Although we have heard the congressman denying that this was him. He said that it was not him. But Robredo said whether it's true or not, her fellow Bicolanos know her as a person, and it would and any kind of disinformation within her bailiwick will not work.
All right, and later there will be another grand rally there in Dagupan. What can we expect from that event?
Well, as usual, Robredo is going to end her day with a star-studded grand rally with several celebrity hosts and artist performances. Now, there's an expected crowd size of 15,000. Now, that not might seem much compared to her previous rallies in Iloilo or in Pasig, but considering that Pangasinan is in the solid north, then it's still a sizable crowd. Sean?
That's right. It is part of the Ilocos region. Thank you so much for those updates. Mobile journalist Jacob Lazaro reporting to us live from Dagupan City. We'll be back with more stories after a quick break. Stay with us here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. Presidential candidate Isko Moreno campaigns in Cebu despite the bad weather. Let's get the details from mobile journalist Pamela Vasquez, who joins us now over the phone. Hi Pam, good evening. How's the weather there and how's the campaign going for Team Isko over there in Cebu?
Good evening, Sean. Manila Mayor Isko Moreno had major changes in his schedule or his visit here in Cebu. Instead of only one day, his campaign will continue until tomorrow, Saturday. And as we all know, Cebu is the top vote-rich province with more than 3.2 million voters. However, day one started a bit late. Due to some engagement he had to attend due plus the bad weather, he wasn't able to make it to the town hall meeting at the Guadalupe Gym in Cebu City. But his wife, Daini Dumagoso, and son, Joaquin Dumagoso, came to rescue as they faced Moreno supporters inside the gym. And as you can see in the video, the gym is filled with people, with supporters. There's no more social distancing, although the audience is wearing their masks. And they were warmly welcomed, cheers, and some are even holding or waving mini flag shots.
All right, the Moreno's camp insists that it is still a three-way race for the presidency, despite his latest survey numbers showing him at a far third. Where is this confidence coming from, Pam? Do they know something that we don't?
Well, Sean, earlier in the press conference, the Action Democrático stressed that despite the number or low number, Isko Moreno is still the top second choice preference for all candidates. They even said that one-third of Bongbong Marcos Jr.'s numbers or leaders of voters, and they're targeting that with on the ground campaign, Sean.
All right, and what's next on your itinerary? Where is he headed next? Is there going to be a grand rally over there?
So now we still haven't seen Manila Mayor Isko Moreno, but we're told that they're still checking if the meet and greet with his supporters at Tinago Gym still in Cebu City would push through. Meanwhile, their motorcade from Tinago Gym to Lapu-Lapu City has been postponed, but later tonight, Moreno will be at a concert at the Hoop Dome. Sean?
All right, thank you so much for that update. That was mobile journalist Pamela Vasquez reporting to us over the phone from Cebu City. In other news, the number of passengers heading back to provinces have reached pre-pandemic levels just ahead of the Holy Week. Shyla Francisco with that story.
Long lines greeted passengers leaving Manila at NAIA Terminal 3. Inside, more passengers can be seen waiting at the check-in counters. Maricel's family is among those departing today for Bacolod. They want to maximize their Holy Week vacation. That's why they are staying there until Easter Sunday.
Kasi medyo ngayon yung maluwag na biyahe. Kasi syempre bumalik na parang normal na yung situation. Kaya given na yung dami ng tao talaga.
Domestic passenger volume at the NAIA reached 80% of the pre-pandemic level last month. The numbers are expected to further increase next week. In ports, passengers are also starting to surge today. Some are opting for sea travel because of the cheaper fare and the no limit to luggage.
Steadily nag-i-increase yung passenger traffic natin sa Manila North Port dahil 100% capacity na yung barko. Nandun na tayo sa pre-pandemic level natin, nasa mga 1,000 to 1,100 daily.
It's the same case at the Parañaque Integrated Terminal Exchange, where passenger volume have exceeded pre-pandemic levels. Up to 100,000 passengers used the terminal daily this past week, higher than the 60 to 70,000 volume before the pandemic.
We're experiencing historic numbers. Ang nakakagulat dito, may mga ilang araw na nakakaranas tayo ng mahigit 100,000. Nakakapagtaka kasi nararanasan lang natin yan usually pagka may mga okasyon tulad ng Pasko, Holy Week or Undas.
PTEX is expecting a further increase to 120,000 this Holy Week. The management says they have deployed 2,000 additional buses to meet the increasing demand. Shyla Francisco, we are One News.
And in the weather, PAGASA is monitoring a low-pressure area and a tropical storm off the coast of Mindanao. The LPA was last spotted some 185 kilometers east-northeast of Surigao City and Surigao del Norte, while the tropical storm with international name Malakas remains outside the Philippine area of responsibility. The LPA is affecting the Visayas, the Caraga region, northern Mindanao, the Zamboanga Peninsula, Mimaropa, Bicol, and Quezon. Cloudy skies with scattered rains and thunderstorms can be expected in these areas. For more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News Live anytime, anywhere. Masks on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. I am Sean Yao. We are One News.